Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lacey, I'm the owner of Milky Candles, and I make videos about life in my 30s. If small business content, sometimes natural hair content, or just like daily vlogs are your thing, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Today I'm working on a wholesale order for Local Nomad, and I'm using these beautiful ceramic vessels. I am obsessed with them, and they ordered 24 candles total. I'm using alcohol to clean out the inside. Sometimes there's a little bit of debris or a little bit of like dust, so I like to just make sure that I clean those out properly. So we definitely want to make sure we're starting off on the right foot by getting everything cleaned out. Now, I do this before anything else simply because I use so much alcohol that it kind of takes it a little bit of time to dry. Because after this, I am gonna prep my vessels and then move into the actual candle making. Before I put my wicks on, I'm gonna make sure I put warning labels at the bottom of each candle, because forgetting that would be a huge mistake and a liability. So I'm flipping all of them upside down. I already counted out 12 labels that I would need. I'm just kind of centering them as much as possible. I would love to have ones that are a little bit bigger, but I have a ton of these, and you know me, I'm gonna use what I already have. Then I'm gonna prep my wicks and get them ready to be placed in the center of my jars. I'm using the small wick sticker size from Candle Science, and I'm using the CD8 wicks. Local Nomad ordered 12 of the Milky candles, so we're just gonna go ahead and place our 1x4 durable film Avery labels on top. I print these from home. I find that that's the most affordable option for me as of right now, and I think it's just a clean, simplistic look. When it comes to placing my wicks and centering them, I eyeball it. I don't measure anything. I don't have a tool to help me. I've been making candles for 10 years, so it's not that difficult for me, but also if something is a little off-centered, I don't find that it's like the worst thing ever. I'm a small business and everything is handmade. But my favorite tool to keep the wick in place are the metal wick bars. I get these from Candle Science. I actually have to open the middle a little bit more with like a metal knife, but these are perfect. I have tried so many different kinds, and I'm a fan of these. So I put all these on, and then I'm not gonna touch my candles until I'm actually pouring, and I'm not gonna move anything around unless I find that anything is actually off. So now I'm just gonna start measuring my wax, and I'm gonna start putting it into my Presto pot, because that's where I melt down my wax and pour my fragrance oil when I'm making more than, now that these are bigger candles, probably when I'm making more than like 5 candles at a time. So far, this method has been my preferred method. I'm gonna turn this on, and then I'm actually gonna do a double boil method with the pouring pitcher that you just saw me using. I'm trying to melt what's in there, and also it's gonna be a lot better for me to ladle hot wax into a warm pouring pitcher instead of a cold pouring pitcher. I get really excited when people order my candle and it's like a custom blend, and Milky is a custom blend, so I am gonna pour out the rest of this, and then I'm going to measure some more. Milky is such a soft but kind of powdery smell that it's like the perfect scent to represent our brand, which is exactly why we named it Milky. Now that we're totally melted, we're gonna pour in the fragrance oil, and well, we're almost totally melted. There's like a tiny little bit down there, but you know, it goes away fast. And we're just gonna use the ladle to mix it up for quite a bit of time. I wanna make sure that it's well mixed before we start pouring, and I'm ladling it into, again, my hot pouring pitcher. And I'm just gonna slowly pour each candle. When I make candles with these vessels, and honestly, just when I make candles anyway, I expect sinkholes. That's just part of the game. I have just accepted it, and it is okay with me to go the extra step to make sure that I smooth the tops. But if you don't already have a heat gun, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's saved my life In candle making, that sounds dramatic, but now I definitely could not live without it, that's for sure. And then I wipe up the rest of the wax, and then I just put some diluted apple cider vinegar in there and wipe it down to get rid of the scent. And if you look closely, you can see some of the sinkholes starting to form. It will get worse. So I make sure that it cools a significant amount. And then I go in and cut my wicks. I want to cut my wicks before I melt down the tops because I don't want the wick to start bending once it gets hot and starts melting the outer layer of wax on the wick. So I'm cutting those down first, and then I'm going to go ahead and melt them down. But here is something that I have learned. I have learned that there is a massive hole where you see your sinkhole. So I actually take a toothpick and I break through so that if I melt it down again, that wax will actually get all the way to the bottom where the deeper hole is. So if you have sinkholes, try to poke around in there and make sure that you are actually filling the hole correctly. I find that I just have to break through with a toothpick every single time. Before I make the rest of the order, I'm just gonna put these up against my counter and I'm gonna cover them to make sure that until I'm ready to actually box them, there's no dust or debris getting in there. The next scent that we're working on is the Cove, and I'm just gonna go through the same exact procedure. I'm gonna wipe them down, let them dry, put my wicks on, put my wick bars on, and then get ready to actually measure the wax and fragrance oil. With these vessels, there is a tiny bit of a curve down at the bottom, so I find that I can get some air bubbles in my labels if I place it down a little bit too far. So I try to make it as consistent as possible. Local Nomad ordered 6 of the Cove, so it's just a lot faster, and you'll see that as I'm actually making these, I start prepping for the third scent. Something that I've purchased in the past that is very helpful are these like little droplets. It helps me perfect exactly how many ounces I need of fragrance oil, and I can put some in, I can take some out, and I just wipe it off when I'm done, and I tape it right back onto the bottle. So I went ahead and poured the Cove, and now it's just cooling on the side, and I'm going in with my third scent, or their third scent that they chose, which is Sage and Lavender. I did not know Sage and Lavender would be so popular, but oh my God, it is. People love it. It is herbaceous, it is clean, it is cozy and comforting and homey and all of those things. And I think that people just flock towards it. So Local Nomad ordered 6 of those. So again, we're measuring out our wax, and I, at this point, I'm kind of tired of making candles because it took me a little bit more time than usual because I'm filming. But now that I'm done measuring and I'm done with the wax and the fragrance oils and things like that, and I'm just getting ready to pour, I'm just gonna go ahead and start cleaning up. Cut to a couple hours later, and I am cutting my wicks again, and I'm going to melt down the tops of these. Again, I'm gonna poke them first. I'm gonna poke them because I gotta get to the bottom of that sinkhole, and then I'm gonna melt them down. So I'm cutting wicks and melting down the tops of both Sage and Lavender and the Cove. I don't know why I have to say the Cove like that. The Cove. It just sounds so like cool. But I'm making sure that I'm using different toothpicks for different scents. Don't get it twisted. We are not cross-contaminating scents here. We don't do that in this house. I'm gonna go ahead and slide these back and again, cover them just like I did the milky scent, and in a few days, I'm gonna give it a couple days. I think I gave it 2 days, but not on purpose. I'm gonna come back and wrap them. Okay, y'all, we are prepping some honeycomb paper for the candles. I'm cutting about a foot-ish. I think of a Subway sandwich. That's how I remember 12 inches. And I'm gonna cut about 4 to 5 pieces at a time, and then I'm going to roll them up and cut them horizontally. Just saves me a little bit of time. I like to wrap my candles like this specifically when it's a wholesale order because it's gonna be sitting on shelves. I recommend that they use one as a tester, and I just want it to be protected while it's sitting on somebody else's shelf because you cannot control how other people treat your candles once they're out of your hands. So I'm gonna put that paper to the side. I'm gonna print my box labels. So these boxes are just a smidge too small, but again, have we met? I am gonna use what I got. So I'm still gonna use them. I'm wrapping the candle in the honeycomb paper. I am being very careful with how I fold the top of it because I don't want it to dent the wax. I'm just putting a little bit of crinkle paper in the corners. I'm not crazy about it since it's not being shipped. I'm putting a candle care card on top, closing the box as much as I can because again, it's a little too small. And then I'm gonna seal it with my label. And honestly, I'm obsessed with our labels. If you've ever been to our website and read the descriptions, I write every single one of them. I love writing the descriptions, and I print them on the box. So the top is like who we are as a company, the part on the left of the label is like the scent profile, and then the right is like the funny description of, or sometimes, sometimes not funny, but still pretty good, of like what it's made up of and what you could possibly use it for. But apparently we are not the only ones that love our descriptions. They asked us to send just the empty boxes for the testers in case people wanted to buy them. I guess they're samples. So I'm including the extra boxes with the description and a couple more candle care cards. Today is officially drop-off day, so I'm going to take these candles to Local Nomad. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, thumbs it up, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I look at my analytics often, and it helps me see what you do and what you don't prefer to watch. I love you even if you don't love me back, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.